Hello everyone, and welcome back to my replay of Amnesia The Dark Descent. The classic horror game that started pretty much everyone's horror Let's Play career. Hell, I even started my career, basically. It's nowhere near blind, that's for sure. But at the same time, it's... Anyway, the Alpha Children cheered him on, his name voice in a steady rising pace, urging him to do it. Am I really going to do this? The young boy then struck his victim with a rock. This right here is the first place that really gets to me. Like, the atmosphere, sound in here is just so foreboding. Like, even if you know what's going to happen, just from the atmosphere of sounds in the distance, it puts the sense of dread into me. Of course, I'm not even entirely sure what that sound in the background is, the humming mechanical sounds. Like, I have no idea. I don't remember that.
16th of May, 1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all. An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
Yes, gotta have that fancy loot. Shiny loot. So basically, Daniel used to be basically an archaeologist, or an assistant archaeologist, basically. But, well, we need more notes to figure out what happened, don't we? As I look, of course, for tender plots, it's because try and be thorough. After all, I could get achievement. Wouldn't that be nice? Uh-huh. Yeah. Not doing that. Not doing that. I hereby offer my full attention and services to Alexander, Baron of Brandenburg. This contract will arrange for a total of 3 years when my freedom shall return to me. In addition, Alexander, Baron of Brandenburg, is to recommend my services at the Prussian royal court and within the sanctum of the Order of the Black Eagle. May no man break this seal. Wilhelm, House of Garrick. Ah yes, Wilhelm. Can be explained, not really, but for the most part, sort of. Not really, but yet sort of. If that makes any sense. I guess I'm missing nothing, hopefully. Nope, that's just an inkwell. And Chewbacca in the distance. But you know, why not? Just add to the forebodingness. I know, I sound way too calm, don't I? Oh, but I am a tad on edge. Quite a bit on edge.
17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes and broken steps. The crudely carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. The walls were lined with statues unlike any I'd ever seen. Despite their unearthly quality, I felt a strange familiarity toward them, which haunts me still. At the far end of the chamber, a great slab of stone sealed off whatever lay ahead. I gave the order to raise it, and as I pushed through the narrow space, the heavy stone suddenly dropped, sealing me inside. I was trapped.
So yeah, more archaeology. Honestly, the story sounds very H.P. Lovecrafty. I mean, with the architecture, sort of Dark Corners of the Earth style. I should have played that, but at the same time, Dark Corners of the Earth is a pain to actually record or play, even. Because, you know, we need more of our sanity gone. More of my sanity. Everything's out to get us. At least someone's playing the piano. But, you know, that's reassuring. Anything? No. Yeah. Honestly, the thing is, you don't really need to actually use the lantern too much, because even in the dark, you can still usually see, because you're... I don't know, you have night vision for some reason. Pretty much the only thing I can sum it up to. So how much oil do I have so far? 7. I should probably use some. I should use my lantern a bit. Don't like using it around corners though. I don't know who could see it. Or what could see it. The door leading to the local history room was locked. Is there enough for entrance? Also, evidence in life here has revealed that combining 4 chemicals can create a powerful acid. Chemical ingredients have been moved from the laboratory to the wine cellar, but we need to find the key. Local history. Okay, that got me a bit. Yeah, it sounded like from in there, behind me. Yeah. Come on, me. You've done this before. You should know what you're doing. Just going over here looking to see if there's, you know, any tender boxes. Oh, don't take no for what I'm doing right now. I'm just screwing around. just screwing around. Hey look, more oil. I wonder. No. Come on, physics. That'll do, actually. Floor plans.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the wars. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
Okay. Once my vision returns to me. Yeah, I don't remember any rooms in the game that actually resemble the East Wing or the Western Hall. So long as you don't just willy-nilly waste your tinder boxes of oil, you should be fine on them. Here's a good place to mess things if there is actually any hell. I'm not sure if there is. Luckily they have a slight glow in them. Okay, so we heard a piano play. That did... It's close, but yet someone did move the chairs. I'm onto you, game. I'm onto you. Okay, stop losing sand. Well, that's unfortunate. We must find a way out of this area. Bit of a waste, but meh. We have tinder boxes that spell. You know, I just said don't use them willy-nilly. We can use as many as we want. The Kingdom of Prussia, which is basically Germany, basically. Yeah, I think as much. Yeah. Oh, then. Guys, obviously reading a note that makes us
17th May,
make sound.
1839. After pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless. I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light. It was waiting for me. Enclosed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light.
Yeah, we are drawn to it. And it infects my mouse.
I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away. unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of a most peculiar relic.
Yeah, so we found basically a orb. A bluish orb. And it teleported us out, though. Oh, come on. Maybe the perk's not strong enough. Maybe we need a knight's helmet.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Yep, you can never be too careful in these eccentric old castles. Now then, book puzzles. Huzzah! Yay! Now then, this one here is always fun to read. Outstart in Brindlewood Castle, 1801. Another region rich with lore is Outstrat, deep within the East Prussian woods. For centuries there have been stories around the hamlet and its neighbor, Castle Brindlewood. The quiet forest-clad mountain stretched with scattered lakes is as picturesque as can be. I bet the area is haunted by the dark. Okay, are we done with the loud music here? Good. It's getting louder and you hear proof of the widespread superstition. All travelers should indulge themselves in such conversations since it will certainly serve as exciting entertainment. All of them have their own twist on the tales, but there are some motifs that keep reappearing. The Gatherers. Take note of this. The story reaches all the way back to the time of the 30 Years' War. It said that soldiers who abandoned their duty got lost in the cold, dark woods and were forever damned to roam the grounds. The bodies wrought by their tainted souls have left them disfigured and empty of essence. Many have cited them over the years and described them as horrid revenants. They move silently through the woods, shying away from any beholder. They are called gatherers, as they seem to follow some ambition to steal living creatures. It's their prey which can be heard struggling and seeing a damp burlap sack stride behind them which reveal their presence. What dark scheme do they follow? A. There's no dark burlap sack stride behind them. And B. They're sort of explained in a later note we'll get. Visit undone. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa, the well-known erudite, visited Outstrat at the start of the 15th century. He resided in the local inn for a fortnight as he looked for remnants of kingdoms past. During his stay, all the prominent members of society paid notice, and he is mentioned in many records of the time. One day he went to investigate a burrow in the northwestern glades, only to never be seen again. Heinrich is known to have passed away in Grenoble some 10 years later. He dismissed the notion of ever visiting Outstrat, which made you wonder what really happened. Who is this mysterious man who visited the sleepy hamlet in the woods, and what happened to him? The Immortal Baron. The Baron of Brennenburg leads a reclusive life with his family at a castle nearby. Family. Right. Outstrat. And like most those of noble birth, rumors are inherited alongside with the title. Researching the history reveals little before the castle was consumed by fire in the late 16th century. It was rebuilt by Alexander, a nobleman from the Rhinelands, claiming the role as protector of the Prussian state. Alexander helped the region to flourish and remain popular throughout his presumed lifetime. Family has always been secretive when it comes to lineage and heritage, therefore the birth and death of Alexander and his offspring has never been fully recorded. This has fed the idea that the Baron is in fact the one and the same who came from the west over 300 years ago, lived through the time of occupation, and joined the coveted Order of the Black Eagle, along with the great leaders of this country. So, some, well, superstitious notions, though. And then, take note of this. This here is a closet. Now then, the game automatically expects you to go to the closet. But yet, there is no real threat there. That I've seen so many Let's Plays. The first instinct you have is go to the closet, hide. Yet, there's no actual threat there. It's one thing that's always bothered me is everyone always instinctively go to the closet. Valheim and his force have endangered my research long enough, with their absent-minded handling of the human vessels. The Sheriff is keeping a watchful eye on the forest and is killing my trusty servants. It's just a matter of time until they follow the trail to Brennenburg. Need to lock Wilhelm and his men up to avoid further investigation from the public. The wines will therefore be sealed off until the matter has been handled. Either will the king's men leave or they will starve. Whatever comes first, they can rot for all I care. I will feed them some wine. It would instant solve both of my problems. Okay, so if we process that one note we read about the gatherers, and the fact that the sheriff is carrying his trusty servants in the forest where these gatherers are apparently going with their sacks of people and living creatures, we can connect these two. Secondly, just feed them some wine, which would in a sense solve both my problems. Which basically need to try to figure out how that relates. Well, we'll get rid of Wilhelm's thing. And, well, I think it's explained in the next another note we'll get on along. Okay, here's where it starts getting a bit creepy in here, though. Yep. Take note of that music. That is the Gatherer music. Yeah. One thing, though. That got me the first time. And the actually affected the showers. I can... yeah, I'm feeling a bit on edge, despite knowing everything. Keep telling myself that. Doesn't help the fact I feel on edge. My instincts would tell me to just leave. But my curiosity is telling me, screw it. There's nothing there. There's never anything there. Why do I dabble? Let's just... sun gave way to his tired body as he fell from the camera's back. He felt the wind gently swoop across his face and to strike. Ow. Dicks. No. The wall meat, Zerd creep, whatever you want to call it, starts popping up. And it's not directly explained, but the wall meat Zerd creep is basically a manifestation of the shadow. Because that makes logical sense. That the shadow is wall meat. I don't really know. Starts up, but what I was saying is, yeah, I know, darkness, sanity.
Where did the Baron go?
Who cares? He left us enough wine to last us a lifetime. Or at least until tomorrow.
Right. First really foreboding area, I should say. There's never anything there. Am I reacting? Here would be a good place to hide tinderboxes. Barrels. But no, they didn't. Also, logic, there's all these things we could use, but yet we don't just take them with us. Well, we're taking food. Because, sadly, combat isn't a feature of Daniel. I mean, he can pick up a barrel that's supposedly full of wine and just chuck it over there. But yet, he can't actually fight anything. Well, that's foreboding. Oh, so here's a weird thing. Okay, these barrels of oil, they work in a weird way where, depending on how much oil you have, basically. So if we didn't have like any of these things, the barrel would be mostly full. If we had like a small amount of them, the barrel would be like half full. But since we have so much oil, the barrel's like only a few drops, which barely enough to actually increase it. But I want to do this. Nope, it still hit me in the head. And of course that blew out the torch. There we go. Come on, regain some composure. Oh, we actually did take minor damage from that thing. The Zerd creep. Sunken colonies struck me in the ass or something, I don't know. Yes, I know at some point I should get back to StarCraft, but it's just so not that good at RTS games, to be honest. If Star Wars, though, glad the background is any reference. But yeah, take note of how strong Daniel is. Just slide this boulder out of the way. Slide this boulder over here. How you see? Just, yeah. Like honestly, if anything tried starting with him, Daniel could just properly punch it in the face and knock it right out. I mean, look how strong he is. Just moving this giant wood beam out of the way like it's nothing. Daniel's basically got heroic strength, but yet it's overcome by his fear of actually engaging anything. Sadly. And we solved a puzzle, which means Sandy. Right. Yeah, that's reassuring. Very reassuring.
What's happening? Oh, it feels like my chest is going to burst.
My God! Wilhelm, do something!
Accept it. We're not getting out of here.
How can you say that? Alexander, you piece of shit! Let us out of here!
So yeah. The wine. Here we go. Wilhelm's last words. My name is Wilhelm, House of Georg. These are my final words, my confession and testament. 2 years ago I was summoned to the castle of Brandenburg. As most of the aristocracy, I was curious about what the supposed Knight of the Order could want from me, and accepted the invitation. The Baron was friendly and offered me a proposition. It dawned on me that the nature of the contract was sordid, and the reason I was chosen was because of the followers of my past, and not the honors I've been rewarded with during my time as a soldier. I was to kidnap healthy humans upon his slightest whim and do so without asking questions. In return, he would attest to my character at the royal court, fancy my position within noble society. I would like to claim that I struggled with my decision, but I came swiftly and I accepted wholeheartedly. Ever since that day, I brought men, women, and children to Brandenburg. Carry out the numbers, but there were many, perhaps even 100, none of whom were ever seen or heard from again. Tonight the Baron invited me and my men down to the wine cellar to celebrate our work. I had my suspicions as we descended the stairs, but I insisted and joined us in a toast. One tasted fine, my men drank without restraint. So begins the punishment for our sins. Baron has locked us up and returned upstairs. Forgive me for all I have done. I was weak and fell into his diabolical ways. My men are screaming. Their skin has been pierced by their own tangled bones. I feel my insides revolting against their God-given nature. Blood has begun to pour from my eyes. I can no longer... So, basically, that's what... He made them into givers. It's not fully explained, but it's hinted at enough to assume that's what happened to Wilhelm and his men. Now, what isn't explained is which one is Wilhelm. That isn't really explained. It's just basically, it's also not explained how many of Wilhelm's men there were. There could have been like 3, there could have been 10, Trey. But yeah, not really explained. Well, if we could assume from the bodies there was what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8. Not sure. Either way, that's just foreboding. Also, this hint: if an enemy is near, stay outside and hide in the darkness. Make sure to turn off your lantern. Yeah, that's reassuring. Because, hey look, there's a thing. Use the arm to increase your health. Just make a double click on its icon. Also, it should be explained that if you stare at a monster too long, they might notice you. Which is bad. Also, our sanity is bad. Your sanity is now dangerously low. Make sure to stay in the light and try to make progress. Yeah, about that. Our sanity is dangerously low. It's going to be dangerously low. Given how much stuff that freaks Daniel out, there's not much we can do about that. It'd be nice if we went completely as blurred vision. Of course, I'm looking for tinderboxes, but yeah, it's hard to see anything in this state. To be honest. And now we're crystal clear now. We're good. Spook us all you want. We're good for now. That is subject to change, of course. Well, almost missed you. Don't think there's any tinderboxes back here. Never mind. Never mind. Jeez. How did I miss so many? Of course, I feel nervous exploring. But you never know. What's his face might pop up and go boo. Honestly. Most of the first part of this game is designed to just put you on edge. No actual threat. I think it is possible to actually die though if you just dart right at the thing. Became impossible to avoid. The commotion in the streets paid for its attention as he opens it. And you read faster. And so green. Sat down by the Casper wall, grasping for air, sweat poured from his forehead, and onto the sand-filled ground. I don't think that was that before. Doesn't actually get too much light around here now, does it though? Now then, alchemy. Well, that's foreboding. Yes, we need to turn on the burners first. So much for crystal clear facts. Like the game just loves sticking with you. Also, oh no, the stairs are broke. Whatever shall we do? Now here's one thing I didn't realize the first time I did this. Yeah, it just does that. I thought I had to make like some makeshift ramp thing up to it, but no, you just need to throw it and it auto sets into place. Just like that. After doing 3 days in outskirts, a sailboat finally managed to take him across the Mediterranean Sea to Gibraltar, effing. Okay, enough with the absurd creep. Silly wall meat. So now then, next time we'll head down towards the refinery. But that's for next time. Hope y'all enjoy, thank y'all, and have a nice day.